into the end zone. Brady Dahlberg. Another touchback, and the 15-yard line is where Hyannis will set up shop. Trying to answer offensively here. It's been tough sledding against the Sandhill Thedford defense, 43-0 with 1:09 left here in the first quarter. Fifteen-yard line, familiar territory for Hyannis. Snap back to Kosman. Instant pressure. Kosman tries to throw it up. It falls incomplete. He was looking for either Phillips or also in the area for Hyannis was Parker Provost. Those have been the two receivers that Kosman has looked at the most here this evening. But it falls incomplete this time around, and with 1:09 to go first quarter, Hyannis wants to talk a couple things over. We'll step away and come back for the remainder of the first after this. $1:09 to go. Looks like we've got a more secure connection for you folks watching on the video stream. Pass over the middle, completed. Hyannis is going to have a first down, so the timeout does some good for the Longhorns. On the receiving end of that one, Miles Anderson, the 165-pound sophomore. A good catch over the middle. Kosman did a good job of seeking out his receiver there. And you might have been able to hear it through my headphone. That one popped his chest pad when it went in there. So now 51 seconds and easily the most positive play that Hyannis has had so far. We'll see if they can catch a little bit of fire in their jar. 1st and 10 from the 30. Kosman fakes the handoff, feels pressure, swims through it, and throws it at the feet of the same receiver from last time, Miles Anderson. Can't come up with it, but Kosman doing a good job of eluding the rush and making the most of it that he could. Players run in, players run out for Hyannis. No substitutions this time around for Sandhills Thedford. 43-0. Sandhills Thedford on top. 38 seconds to go here first quarter. Snap back, Kosman. Looks to pass, looking over the middle, fires it out, and it's completed right out the first down marker. It'll depend on the spot. Miles Anderson reels it in. Boy, the nose of the football is going to be awfully close, and the eye test by the near side judge passes. And for the second time in this drive, Hyannis has moved the sticks, but they're going to have to move. This kind of happens with offenses in 8-man sometimes. They're used to coming all the way to the sideline for a play call instead of just getting it in with signals. And every single play is going to cost you a minimum of 25 to 30 seconds. Kosman under center, hands it to Phillips, and he's going to get stacked up. Wow, coming in there and getting the big-time hit inside is Carson Cooksley, the 160-pound sophomore. Carson gives up some weight to Wyatt Phillips, who's 190 pounds. That's the end of the first quarter. 12 minutes goes up on the clock. And we'll come back for that second quarter here on the Sandhills Express YouTube and Facebook pages. So we head to the second quarter. Hyannis did get one more playoff there before the end of the first quarter. Midfield, snap back. Kosman feeling pressure, eludes it, tries to fire it over the middle, and right at the first down marker would have been his intended receiver, but it again is a low pass. Miles Anderson couldn't reel it in. 5 seconds gone on that play for Hyannis, and we'll continue the second quarter with their next play. The down marker is hiding behind the marker. I believe it's third. From right at midfield, just about. They're about 6 inches short of midfield are the Longhorns. Again, this is a district matchup in the playoffs. Hyannis 1-4 in the district this year. Sandhills Thedford, the D29 district champions at 5-0 this season. 7-1 overall were the Knights. Kosman, quick out pass. Does good to get that one out there quickly, but closing defensively was Maurice Robinson. Flag comes out kind of right in the thick of things, right around where the playing and blocking was going on in the middle of the field. That's going to be a chop block against Hyannis. So that's going to block back the Longhorns up, which is not what they want at this point. This has been their best drive so far, and it looks like it's going to be declined from Sandhills Thedford. They'll take the down. It's going to be fourth down. We won't have a replay of third down. Sandhills Thedford going to change some bodies out here. Kosman has already come to the sideline for Hyannis, so we'll likely see a punt, and we will. Ben Connell, the 140-pound sophomore, to put his foot into it for the Longhorns. Receives it, kicks it really quickly, and it bounces at the 15, and picking up there is Robinson. Gets up to the 15 after it bounced back to him, and a good play on special teams by Hyannis. Miles Anderson comes in there and was a part of the action on the hit. Sandhills Thedford back in their own territory. I believe this is only the second time. 2 times in a row they've started in their own territory. Up to that point, it was all in Hyannis Longhorn territory. Sandhills Thedford, 3 wide receivers split to the top of your screen. Kyle Cox in the backfield. Throws it over the middle. Flag comes flying in. Hakey unable to reel it in. Tight defense there by Ben Connell, the 140-pound sophomore for Hyannis. We'll see what the flag is. Usually when the protection hangs around that long, it's for a reason. And it is. Sandhills Thedford called for holding. So a penalty at their own 15-yard line is going to back Sandhills Thedford up. They'll mark this off, and we'll get ready for our next play. Again, if you notice those sponsors on the top of your screen, folks, those are the sponsors making this broadcast available to you. Not possible to have it for you without those sponsors. For the gas to get the car here, if anything. Kyle Cox in the shotgun, backs into his own end zone, feels pressure, eludes it, tries to run up, and gets hit at the 2. Another lost yardage play, this time because of a tackle for loss by the Hyannis defense. Swarming towards Kyle Cox, the protection didn't hold up that time. Sandhills Thedford going to have second down and 20 plus from their own 4-yard line. Minutes to go here, first half. Again, I know you can see it on your screen, but the radio guy in me is going to keep calling out that time. Kyle Cox fakes the handoff, looks up the field, now runs into his own blocker. Cooksley is going to get wrapped up there by a whole host of Hyannis Longhorns. Leading the charge was Phillips. Also in there again was Miles Anderson. 10:35 to go here, first half, and Hyannis easily having their best defensive stand so far this evening after the best offensive stand last time out. Clock approaches 10 minutes to go in the first half. Three wide receivers out to the top for Kyle Cox, who stands at his own goal line. Snap back, Kyle in the flat to Cooksley. Gets a good block from Hakey. Follows him between the sticks. He's going to have a first down out across the 25. That's a dagger for Hyannis. They had them backed all the way up inside the 5-yard line, and Kyle Cox throws it out in the flat to his running back, Cooksley, who makes quick ground of it behind the lead blocker, Caden Hakey. And Sandhills Thedford with a new set of downs at the 25. First down from the 25-yard line, just past it. Snap back to Kyle Cox. Dahlberg walks in on the near side route. Coming back to it is Hakey on the near side, though. He's got a lot of green grass in front of him at 15, 10, 5. Touchdown to the opposite pylon for Caden Hakey. 55 yards on the connection. Kyle Cox to Caden Hakey. He came back to it. The ball was underthrown or overthrown. Either way, it's a touchdown for Sandhills Thedford. Now the extra point attempt from Dahlberg. This one up, and this one is good to add one more point to the scoreboard. It's now 50-0 in favor of Sandhills Thedford. Another successful offensive drive that looked like Hyannis had snuffed out inside the 5-yard line, but a big third down play for Sandhills Thedford got them a new set of downs. They didn't need another set of them as they go all the way down the field and score on the kickoff. The 20-yard line is where Hyannis is going to start as one of the up men for Hyannis receives that one there. 9:22 to go, first half. 50-0 Sandhills Thedford, a strong showing from them out of the gate here in the opening round of the D2 playoffs. I formation, handoff, ball comes out. Sandhills Thedford's on top of it. Jumping on top of it for the Knights is Preston Mostenrosh. Preston gets Sandhills Thedford another possession inside the 25-yard line, and we've got a timeout on the field. Knights want to talk a couple of things over with 9:18 to go, first half. Knights first down after the fumble recovery. New quarterback in there for Sandhill Thedford. Carson Cooksley takes the snap. He is going to drag defenders inside the 20-yard line. In fact, making his way down to the 15. Just a few yards more needed for a new set of downs for the Knights. Good positive play on first down. In fact, they're going to call him a little bit further forward. Second down and about 1.5 coming up for the Knights. I formation, still in there at quarterback is Carson Cooksley. Carson fakes a handoff, looks to pass, rolls out, throws one up in the air, going up and making the reception. What a catch from Maurice Robinson. Went up over the defender, high pointed the ball, and it nestled right in there from his quarterback, Carson Cooksley. Wow. What a play there from Carson Cooksley coming in at quarterback. A lot of coaches will not ask a backup quarterback to go in there and throw the ball, but why not? He comes in, runs the bootleg to perfection, and Robinson high points it and makes it look good on the back end. Now the extra point attempt from Dahlberg. Cox, the holder. Dahlberg puts his foot into it, and it is no good. Awkward angle from this direction, but it was over the right upright, and the officials certainly have a better look at it than we do. So we'll go with what they said. 56-0 after the score by Sandhills Thedford. 8:27 to go, first half. Kickoff off for Sandhills Thedford. This is going to draw a flag as it goes out of bounds at about the 22-yard line on Hyannis' side of the field. So we'll see. Sandhills Thedford's walking back. Officiating crew talking to fans on the near side, or excuse me, the players on the near side and the coaching staff. Kickoff is out of bounds, and we're not going to see a re-kick. They're going to go ahead and spot the ball. The 25-yard line is where Hyannis will set up for their next possession. The 25-yard line for Hyannis as they break the huddle and come to the line. Phillips will stand to the left of his quarterback, Kosman, in the shotgun. Snap back to Kosman. Max looks, looking for a man on the far side. It's knocked away. Coming across and hitting it out of there was Colin Winklebauer. Good defense on the backside. Provost is who he was looking for. He's been the intended receiver pretty regularly this evening. Haven't really been able to get a decent connection going consistently with him, though, but it looks like Kosman wants to lick his way a lot. Kosman under center. Throws it out. This one trying a little bit of a sweep around and going and grabbing it. Let's see, do they spot it? They tried to throw it out here on the near side to Ben Connell, and then he tried to flip it to Phillips. The question is whether or not when Preston Mochenbross came over and grabbed it, it looked like it went out of bounds after he touched it and didn't have possession before the ball went out. So they are going to call it Hyannis ball, which I believe is the right call by the officials here, because Ross, if he's able to come over and pick that up and hold on to it, that is a turnover. But because he grabbed it and it rolled out of bounds, it stays with Hyannis. And now we've got a timeout on the field just for a moment. Now the official starts the clock again. Snap back, looking. Phillips wants to pass, throws it to no man's land. It's the only two within 5 yards of the ball were Sandhill Thedford Knights. So again, Hyannis tries to pass it with Wyatt Phillips. Doesn't work, and it's going to be 4th down and long. Phillips has 15 catches for 4 touchdowns and just short of 300 yards. That's through 7 games. 50 carries for 247, so half his yards coming through the air, half on the ground for Wyatt Phillips. He's passed it a couple times this evening. Now we'll see that short punt formation, and a sky punt off of the foot of Ben Connell is going to be down by Phillips short of the 40-yard line. So Sandhill Thedford again going to have possession inside their opponent's territory at the 39. Eight minutes on the clock. Coming back in there at quarterback for Sandhill Thedford comes Carson Cooksley. Cooksley, snap back, hands it to the second man through. Aiden Hall, the backup running back, is got a first down, and he's finally wrapped up as he gets inside the 25-yard line. Good looking run there from Aiden, showed his patience, waited for his blockers out in front of him, and moves the sticks. Whistles blow, and Hyannis wants to talk things over. We'll step away as well and come back for the remainder of the second quarter. Normally on the radio I take a commercial break, but now I can just kind of make these breaks as long as I want. Microphone back on here on the video stream. Offense back out there for Sandhill Thedford. And we've got a flag that flies. False start against the Sandhill Thedford offense, so they're going to have to do this from outside of the sticks. It'll remain first down though. Ball still inside their opponent's 30-yard line. Knights certainly in no hurry here. This is a good opportunity for a lot of the backup players to get in there and play some good offensive snaps, some playoff snaps. When it comes down to it, the game is still the same, 12-minute quarters, 4 of them. But it just feels different for the playoffs. Snap back, rolling out. Carson Cooksley looking for his man. Can't find Maurice Robinson, who had an opportunity at it at the 20-yard line. Would have been back between the sticks if they completed it, but it would have been a more impressive catch than Robinson's touchdown catch before, because he was falling to his knees. Ball was where it needed to be, but that would have been pretty amazing if he reels that one in. Two wide receivers split out near side. Snap back. Cooksley looking for somebody. Feels pressure. Eludes it. Steps up inside the 25, and he's going to be wrapped up just short of the 20. Good movement there from the backup quarterback. Carson Cooksley gets Sandhill Thedford back between the sticks. The ultimate goal was a pass. Couldn't find anyone down the field, and it looked like he was dead to rights there in the backfield, but he made two men miss and worked up the field. Third down and a long 8. Right-hand hash. One wide receiver splits up near the top of your screen. That's Aiden Hall. Preston Moschenbross up there as well. Cooksley in the shotgun. Snap back. Looking immediately for Hall, and it's just off of his hands. Hall ran the slant route on the inside. Had an attempt at it just inside that left hash mark, but it falls incomplete, and it's going to be fourth down at the 23-yard line for Sandhill Thedford. I'm seeing Brady Dahlberg lining up here. This is going to be about 39 yards for Brady Dahlberg on the and he tried to line drive it way too much, and it's blocked. And Kyle Cox tries to jump on it. Now he does the second time, able to hop out on it. So it's a blocked three-point attempt, or a field goal attempt by Brady Dahlberg. So give the block to Hyannis, and their offense will try to feed off of that momentum this next possession. Under center, handing it off is Kosman. This is a good positive run for Zeke Heaton. He's out across the 20-yard line, and a first down play and a new set of downs awarded to Hyannis. .6:15 to work with here for Hyannis. Back up to the line, the 18-yard line. One wide receiver top side. Kosman hands it off to Zeke. Zeke angling towards the end zone. He's going to get there. It's a touchdown for Hyannis from 18 yards out. Zeke Heaton with the run on the right side. Player injured on the play over there on the far side. Already seeing a Sandhill Thedford Knight sitting up, which is hopefully a good sign. We'll step away with 6:01 to go here. First half, we'll have an extra point or a two-point attempt coming up. So the Sandhill Thedford injured player is up and on his feet. Happy to report that to you. And now a two-point attempt for Kosman and the Longhorns. Max, snap back. Fakes the handoff, looking for a man, and it's slapped away. Coverage on the back end coming out of there by Sandhill Thedford's Carson Cooksley. That one just about got into the hands of the intended receiver, Jake Connell, but Cooksley had something to say about that, and he was able to get it with about the end of his three middle fingers. So the two-point attempt is no good, and it remains a 50-point advantage for Sandhill Thedford. 6:01 to go here, second quarter. 56-6 now as Hyannis gets on the board. Good looking 18-yard touchdown run there by Zeke Heaton. Took the right side, made that decision early in the play, and it led to 6. Hyannis will kick it off. To put his foot into it for the Longhorns is Ben Connell. He does just that. It's going to fall into the hands of Robinson at the 6-yard line. Maurice across the 15, the 20, up to the 25, breaks the tackle, now the 30, and he's shoved out of bounds there. Great job there by Maurice Robinson, the 170-pound freshman. He'll come in and go into the backfield on the offensive side, but he shows why he's back there as a receiving man on special teams. First down for Sandhills Thedford. Lots of reserves still out there for the Knights, looking to answer that score by Hyannis, their first of the game. Cooksley in the shotgun. One man standing to his left. Design quarterback run on the far side, follows his blockers. Gonna get a good 5-yard gain here on first down to be right between the sticks. Again, maybe still going on over on our radio stations would be the Twin Loop and Elgin Public Pope John game. I'm guessing that the South Loop game has come to a conclusion. They were playing against the defending D2 state champions Kennesaw. Cooksley hands it off. Robinson fights to get back to the original line of scrimmage. Maybe got a foot on the play. Third down coming up. Last we heard, before we got out of the car here in Thedford, all over the defending state champions was South Loop. Bobcats, one of those teams that just got better and better with every single passing game. Twin Loop, Elgin Public, Pope John, I'm sure is going on now on KCNI and KBBN radio if you want to flip over to that when this one hits halftime, or maybe you're already listening while watching this one. Cooksley out of the eye, runs to the near side, stops on a dime, and this one flutters out of bounds and is incomplete. Four-down territory here for the Sandhills Thedford Knights. In the shotgun is going to be Carson Cooksley with a man to his left and to his right. Snap back, high snap. Cooksley does well to control it. Designed quarterback run, maybe. It's going to be stacked up whether it was designed or not. Phillips gets the tackle. Also in the area was Zeke Heaton. And it's a turnover on downs. Hyannis earns the possession. And with 4:22 to go here second quarter, they're going to try to string together a couple of scores. They start on their opponent's 35-yard line. Snap back, Kosman hands it off to Phillips. Phillips follows his blockers, gets a good gain of 5 up to the 30-yard line. Good block over there on the far side. Believe I saw Miles Anderson doing some work over there. I think also in the area, his number's a little bit wrinkled up. I'll try to call it out to you when they walk up to the line. Yeah, that was Trevor Cole, 155-pound junior over there on that side of the field as well. One wide receiver, that's Ben Connell near side for Hyannis. They hand it off. Running up the field is Zeke Heaton. Zeke makes one man miss and can't escape Robinson as he is wrapped up just inside the 20-yard line. Might have been a touchdown saving tackle if Heaton's able to keep his feet there. As it stands, it's a first down just inside the 20-yard line for Hyannis as the clock approaches 3.5 to go. Kosman going to go under center. Heaton stands behind him. It's going to be a pitch play. Zeke looks to the right, picks his placement, swims through, eludes one tackle, and then is finally chopped down just inside the 5-yard line. It's another first down. It's going to be first and goal for Hyannis. So the Hyannis offense kind of figuring things out against some new bodies in there for Sandhills Thedford, and they're trying to put 2 scores together in a row here. Two wide receivers, top of your screen. Snap back. Kosman looking, fires, and it's going to be too far in front of Miles Anderson, who can't come home with it. Clock stops on the incomplete pass. Second down and goal from the 4. 56-6. The lead at the moment for Sandhills Thedford. Most recent points came on an 18-yard touchdown run by Zeke Heaton for Hyannis. It's going to be Zeke with it again. Did he get in? He did. This time from 4 yards out. Hyannis has 2 scores in a row here in Thedford. Now we'll see about the 2-point conversion. And a flag comes in. Only thing I can think of here is this is going to be a legal substitution. And it is. One of those avoidable mistakes that coaches hate to see, but it did happen. Too many men in the huddle, essentially, as the 9th man was in there for the huddle and came running off after the flag was thrown. So the 2-point attempt's going to have to be for a little bit further out. Ben Connell to the top of your screen. Parker Provost out there as well. Snap back to Kosman. Wants to pass. Eludes a little pressure. Sidesteps. Spins. And shoves it forward. And angling towards the end zone and getting in is Jake Connell. Max Kosman was getting wrapped up and tackled. Couldn't make a full throw at it. So he just shoves it forward with both hands to Jake Connell, who makes it into the end zone to make it 14 points on the scoreboard for Hyannis. So Hyannis has put together a couple of scores the last 2 times down the field. Sandhills Thedford's backup offense has put a score into the end zone as well, but as far as second string Sandhills Thedford against first string Hyannis, the Longhorns have been winning that battle. Kickoff going to go into the end zone, and the 15-yard line is where the Knights will set up offensively. As we work our way through this first half. Again, thanks for choosing Sandhills Express on Facebook and YouTube this evening. We're just radio guys doing a video broadcast for you tonight. 2 other games on our radio stations earlier on today. South Loop and Kennesaw, that was on KBBN. Starting on KCNI and now on KCNI and KBBN is the game between Twin Loop and Elgin Public Pope John. We'll try to bring you some updates from those contests after halftime of this one. Cooksley back in there under center. Robinson stands behind him in the running back position. Cooksley going to be a quarterback sneak. Hyannis not fooled at all. They were on top of him right away, but they aren't able to hold him to less than a 2-yard gain. It's going to be 2nd and 7. They'll spot him forward for a 3-yard gain as we tick inside 2.5 to go first half. Sandhills Thedford certainly in no rush here, up big, 56-14. Offensive subs in there, getting some experience to use going forward. Carson Cooksley has himself a touchdown pass. Maurice Robinson has himself a touchdown reception in relief of the starting offense. This time Robinson gets the handoff on the left side. Going to get a little bit of a push, but the push back from Hyannis is stronger. They hold him to a 1-yard gain. It's going to be third down. Sandhills Thedford working on reaching the 20-yard line. They need the 25 for a first down. Continues to be a beautiful night here in Thedford. And we've got a flag. This is going to be for the same thing as the last flag out, except the other way. Illegal substitution on Sandhills Thedford. That's going to back them up and make third down a little bit more difficult as they're outside the sticks now. .120 to go here, first half. Sandhills Thedford trying to dig themselves out of a miniature hole here just outside the sticks. Third and a long 11. I formation look. Ball comes out of there kind of funny. Cooksley was in there as the running back this time around. Gets back to between the sticks. In fact, right around where the ball would have been before the penalty. So it's going to be fourth down and 5 from just short of the 20-yard line. 51 seconds on the clock. We'll see what the Knights elect to do here. A couple of players run in and out for them. We're going to see Cooksley lined up a little bit further back. We're going to see a quick punt here. Snap back to him. No one really moving. This one goes straight in the air. Not a very good punt. And it angles straight towards the sideline. Hyannis could possibly do something with this here. 27 seconds on the clock. Ball is going to be inside their opponent's 30-yard line. This is as favorable of a position as you could hope for Hyannis to end the first half. Essentially 30 seconds to work with for Hyannis. Wide receiver split out each way for Kosman, who has Phillips standing to his right. Snap back. Max looks, guns this one. Did he overthrow it? He didn't. It was right on the money. Right on the front chest numbers of Miles Anderson, and he couldn't come up with it. And there's a flag on the back end of the play that usually spells disaster for the defense. Usually, but not every time. Offensive pass interference rare at other higher levels of football. Don't see it much in high school football in central Nebraska, but we'll see. We'll hear from the official. It's going to be a dead ball foul, unsportsmanlike conduct on Hyannis. A little bit of frustration being vented there at the end of that one. So a favorable opportunity for Hyannis, getting the ball at their opponent's 27-yard line with 27 seconds. They're now backed up in their own territory after the big-time 15-yard mark-off. Second down and 2.5 miles for Hyannis. Zeke Heaton stands to the left of the quarterback, throwing it into the flat into Miles Anderson. Anderson makes one man miss, gets back up to the 30-yard line before being knocked down at the 29 or so, and Hyannis does a good job of quickly getting a timeout. Max Kosman was standing right next to the white hat and gets the timeout. 9 seconds left on the second quarter clock. We'll see at least one, maybe two plays out of this timeout, and we'll have it for you here in a second. So here we go. We'll see if we have 1 or 2 plays to end the first half here. Hyannis trying to make it 3 scores in a row. They last scored on a 4-yard touchdown run by Zeke Heaton. He also had an 18-yard touchdown run the possession before that for the Longhorns. Kosman drops back, wants to pass, has Phillips. Phillips makes a man miss. He is outside, and did he get out of bounds? In time, the clock stops, and we're going to have time for one more play. Holy cow, they throw it into the open spot on the field. Phillips angled towards the far sideline and got out of bounds with less than a second left on the clock. Wow. So forget what down it is, forget the yardage, forget everything. 0.6 seconds left on the clock. Hyannis is going to take a shot at the end zone here, down 56-14. Kosman with Phillips to his left. 2 wide receivers out near side. Kosman, snap at his ankles. Finds some room near side. Looking, throws it into Phillips. Phillips leans forward. Did he get in? He did. Hyannis takes 27 seconds, moves backwards with a penalty, moves forward with a couple of passing plays, and with zeros on the clock, Hyannis scores on the reception by Wyatt Phillips. So now the 2-point attempt, Kosman under center, hands it off to Zeke Heaton, and he's going to be wrapped up immediately. Good sure tackle there by Carson Cooksley, and the failure on the 2-point attempt will take us to halftime. Sandhill Thedford leads at 56-20 here on the Sandhills Express YouTube and Facebook pages. We'll step away. When we come back, we'll have the second half for you. Thanks for watching. Welcome back, folks. Time to start the second half here on the Sandhills Express YouTube and Facebook pages. Again, I'm Jeremy Scheib from KCNI, KBBN Radio, and Broken Bow and SandhillsExpress.com. Jeff Bailey's on the camera, and we're excited to be here in Thedford for this opening round D2 playoff action between Sandhills, Thedford, and Hyannis. Dahlberg puts his toe into it for the Knights, and we're off and running with a touchback here in the second half. Hyannis will start from their own 15-yard line, something they're very familiar with doing, I'd say more than 75% of the time in the first half, especially in the first quarter. Kickoffs from Sandhills Thedford went through the end zone consistently. 12 minutes on the clock. This is going to be a running clock situation as we start this third quarter. I'll explain more in a minute. First down run here for Zeke Eaton. He's got a gain of about 12 yards on first down. Good positive yardage straight out of the halftime locker room for Hyannis. The 35-point rule means that the clock will run regardless of what happens out of bounds, incomplete passes. The officials do have discretion to stop the clock if they see the need to. Handoff. Heaton, again, popped after about a gain of 5. Caden Hakey came in and cleaned that one up. Starting it was Cooksley. It's going to be second down and 5 for Hyannis. The only time that the clock will go back to stopping on regular situations would be if Hyannis is able to pull to within 35 points. The 45-point rule does not exist anymore in the state of Nebraska. Second and 5, one wide receiver out to the top of the screen. Kosman spins. Phillips, one-handed reception, but he's chopped down after a gain of a couple. Good recovery there by Sandhills Thedford's Connor Cooksley. Came up, closed the yardage in between him and the receiver Phillips quickly and made the tackle. In the open field nonetheless. Third down coming up for Hyannis. Minute and a half gone already here in the third quarter. Hyannis up to the line. Provost out near side, the only receiver. Everyone else in tight. And we've got movement up top. And we'll see, this is looking to be against Sandhills Thedford. It is. It's going to be a new set of downs for the Longhorns. Not sure if I saw a hard count. There might have been a hard count in there. So Hyannis not even having to snap the ball there in order to get some free yardage, essentially. So we go to midfield. Provost out near side. Everyone else in tight. Same formation they were showing. Ball comes out of there. Who's going to hop on top of it? It's going to be scooped up by Cooksley. Inside the 30, the 20, 15, 10. Can he get there? He can. It's 6 points for Sandhills Thedford on defense. The scoop and score by Connor Cooksley. So just when it looked like Hyannis was going to be able to have some momentum coming out of halftime, the ball comes out of there on the handoff, and Cooksley makes quick work of it. The 40-yard scoop and score for the Knights. A 2-point conversion coming up. Hakey and Cooksley in there. Cox back in under center. Hands it off. Connor Cooksley is going to walk into the end zone basically untouched. That makes it 64-20 in favor of Sandhills Thedford. 9:48 to go, third quarter. After the score, Brady Dahlberg will come out and do the honors kicking the ball for Sandhills Thedford. from the 30-yard line. And Hyannis' offense will come back out there and see what they can make of their next possession. They had some good things going there as Dahlberg kicks this one out of the end of the end zone. They had some good things going there. Got a couple of first downs under their belt that first possession before fumbling it at the 40-yard line. Again, it's 64-20. Once the clock starts on this first down snap, it will continue to run unless the officials deem it necessary to stop the clock. Most often, the only situation you'll see that is if there's an entry on the field. Out of bounds, incomplete passes, and several other situations you won't see the clock stopped. Kosman under center. Provost, the wide receiver, to the top of your screen. Kosman pressured, and he goes down. It's a sack. Brady Dahlberg was in there. Also coming in for Sandhills Thedford and helping out was Zeb Wild, the 205-pound junior. Haven't called his name out a whole lot, but he's been in there on those gang tackles for Sandhills Thedford all night long, has Zeb. Second down and 20. Ball inside the 10-yard line for Hyannis. Lone wide receiver to the top is Ben Connell. Going to be a handoff up the middle. Wow, big hit on the inside. Believe that was Andrew Furrow, maybe? No, coming out of there comes Rhett McFadden. He was the one that made the hit. No gain. Just barely getting back up to the line of scrimmage was Hyannis. Substitution is coming to the sideline a little bit gimpy is Miles Anderson. Miles kind of wrapped up in all that action in the middle of the field. Provost comes out near side, the lone wide receiver again. Everyone else in tight. Kosman throws it out to him fast. A little bit of a flip back to Phillips, and Sandhills Thedford, they might as well have been in the offensive huddle for Hyannis there because they just left Provost alone and two tacklers went by and smacked Phillips over here on the near side. The play goes for about a yard. It's going to be fourth down and long for Hyannis. Punt upcoming. Back to receive it, Cooksley and Robinson. Again, in to punt it for Hyannis is Ben Connell. Snap back to Connell, quick kick, and it only goes about 3 feet off the ground. Does good to miss players, and it goes out of bounds at the 21-yard line. So again, good field position for Sandhills Thedford. .338 to go here in the third quarter. 64-20 the lead for Sandhills Thedford Knights football. Kyle Cox in there at quarterback. A little bit of an end around to Caden Hakey. He's got open running room. He's inside the 15 and gets shoved down. Phillips covers some ground over there and two hands shoves Caden Hakey to the ground to prevent the first down run. It's a 7-yard gain for Hakey. As we approach 3 to go. I apologize. That was a 7 up there rather than a 2. There's a lot of light bulbs missing in that second digit on the scoreboard. So we all of a sudden gained 5 extra minutes that we didn't know we had. Pass out to Dahlberg as he's tripped up at the 5-yard line. New set of downs on the pass from Kyle Cox. 6:30 to go here, third quarter. Everyone split out. 3 wide receivers to the left side. That's where the quarterback Kyle Cox looks, and that's where he finds a completion to Cooksley, who reels it in from 5 yards out. Now the two-point attempt, I formation with Hakey and Cooksley standing behind the quarterback Kyle Cox. Snap back, hands it off. Cooksley follows his blockers, now leans to the outside, goes through 3 tacklers and into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. With 6:05 to go here, third quarter, it's now 72-20. Sandhill Thedford on top. Brady Dahlberg to put his toe into it again for the Knights. Most recent 2 scores, a fumble, scoop and score from 40 yards out by Connor Cooksley, and now Connor Cooksley just got himself a 5-yard touchdown reception from quarterback Kyle Cox as Dahlberg kicks this one through the end of the end zone. So Hyannis back out to the 15-yard line after the big foot of Dahlberg kicks another one through the end zone. Clock again, when the offensive possession starts, will not stop unless the officials deem it necessary. Clock does stop on scores, though, and with these Sandhill Thedford scores, it almost feels like the quarter is going by at a pretty regular pace. Timeout is called on the field. The officials want to discuss a couple of things. So we'll see what this is. 6:05 to go here in the third quarter. We'll step away for a second and pass it along to you. Okay, so the officials have come out of their timeout. Looks like it was an off-the-field issue that has been resolved. And so we'll get back to play. Kosman in the shotgun. Throws it out, and nobody there. And if Phillips caught it, it would have been a big hit. And they're going to have a flag on this one as Hakey is going to get flagged for the hit, I'm guessing. Phillips was still on his feet, and I thought Hakey did a good job leading with his shoulder, but there's going to be a flag on that play because it came from the near side official, and we'll see what the official call is. And they just call it a personal foul.
Personal foul flagged against Sandhills Thedford, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down for Hyannis.
So it's an automatic first down for Hyannis. I think he made the signal for dead ball at the end as well, which the hit technically happened when the ball was still going to his hands. For the most part, looked like what was a legal hit. Phillips stayed on his feet, and Hakey kind of used the shoulder. But nonetheless, it's a first down carry here for Hyannis. Ezekiel Heaton with the first down carry gets nothing. Second down and 10. They need midfield for a new set of downs. Does the Longhorns. .5:30 to go here, third quarter. Substitution comes in for the Longhorns. Phillips going to stand in the backfield with his quarterback Kosman. Provost out here near side. Drop back. Pass across the way to Ben Connell. Connell has a first down, and he's shoved out of bounds at about the 35-yard line of Sandhill Thedford. So a positive play for the Hyannis offense. Kosman did a good job standing in there, whipping that one out to the left side to Ben Connell, throwing across his body. Hyannis, clap of the hands and back up to the line. From the far side hash, Provost, the lone wide receiver. This is going to be a handoff, and being stacked up just as he received it was Heaton. Going to lose a couple yards. Outside the sticks now are the Longhorns. Hope you folks are enjoying the video stream. We've got some great sponsors scrolling at the top of your screen throughout the evening. Viero didn't originally supply our internet for tonight's stream, but however, after we experienced some problems there in the first quarter, we switched to Viero. So we got to give a big shout out to them. We switched to Viero, and we've had no problems that I've been aware of since then. So thank you to Viero. As being stacked up, I believe that was Heaton on the carry. Trying to go right up the middle, but there was nothing there between the blockers. Another loss of a couple. Third down and about 15 for Hyannis coming up. We'll call it a long 14. Thank you to Bass Enterprises, Consolidated, BD, Broken Bow, Ewalt's Grocery, Sandhills Corral, Midwest Partitions, Western Nebraska Bank, and Custer Public Power District, a few of our sponsors tonight. Kosman, snap back, throws it. Provost reels it in at the original line of scrimmage for this set of downs. He had to go low for it, but he scooped it up, and that makes fourth down about 5 yards more manageable. We approach 3 minutes to go here, third quarter. Kosman looks to the near side sideline. Phillips will stand to the right of him, and we've got a timeout called by Hyannis. We'll step away as well when we come back, the final 2:56 of the third quarter. Fourth and 10, big down coming up here for Hyannis if they want to keep this drive going as we approach the end of the third quarter. Wide receiver each side. Provost is the wide receiver near side. Snap is on the ground. Phillips picks it up, and he's going to be wrapped up and thrown down by Dahlberg. That snap came out at the feet of the quarterback Kosman, and that play had no chance from the very beginning. Turnover on downs to Sandhill Thedford. So they'll start on their own 38-yard line. Thank you as well to Palmer Monument, Lines Appliance, Agribest Feeds, Insurance of the Heartland, and the Grocery Cart in Broken Bow, helping out with tonight's broadcast. Cox, under center, hands it off to Cooksley. Cooksley not going to be able to escape The outstretched arms of Danny Taylor, the 140-pound freshman, and his Hyannis teammates on the near sideline let him hear that they love that one. No gain on the play. It's going to be 2nd down and 10 for Sandhill Thedford. Dahlberg split out to the top of your screen, as is Hakey. 2 wide receivers bottom of the screen as well. They're going to throw a screen. Receiving it on the bottom of the screen is Winklebauer. Collins got a 1st down inside the 30 where he's shoved out of bounds. Clock remains ticking with that 35-point rule in effect. They'll move the chains. Minute 30 to go, 3rd quarter in this 72-20 game. 29-yard line is where the Knights offense sets up shop. Snap back, Kyle Cox hands it off. Carson Cooksley has some room on the far side, picks his lane, and gains a 1st down inside the 20. Good patient running there by Carson Cooksley. That play took a little bit of time to develop, but he was able to wait. It developed enough for him to get between the tackles and run for a 1st down. They need about the 7-yard line to move the chains again. Out of the eye, Cox under center. Snap back, hands it off. It's Cooksley again. Breaks 1 tackle, can't break the 2nd and 3rd, but boy, he sure gave it the college try there. He gets ripped down short of the 5-yard line. We'll call it the 8-yard line. 2nd down and about 2 as the clock goes inside 30 seconds. Looks like we're going to see one more play here to end the 3rd quarter. Hakey in there. Carson Cooksley is the running back. They hand it off to Cooksley, and Phillips is holding on by a jersey. Dragging him is Carson Cooksley, and he gets about a 2-yard gain, which is what he needed for the 1st down. We'll see if it's a 1st down when we come back for the 4th quarter. Sandhill Thedford leads at 72-20 here on Sandhills Express on YouTube and Facebook. So we reverse field. Sandhill Thedford will have a very short amount of yards to gain, but Cooksley was thinking end zone. He leaned forward, and he got there. Touchdown Knights. From 7 yards out, Carson Cooksley gets into the end zone, and Sandhill Thedford extends their lead here on Sandhills Express. Thank you to more of our sponsors, including Power Solutions, Agland ATV, BD Broken Bow, Colligan, Meade Lumber, Nebraska State Bank, Kristen Electric, and the Callaway District Hospital. Out of the eye, Kyle Cox pitches it to Cooksley. Cooksley is going to walk into the end zone. A little high knee at the end. Carson Cooksley 2-point conversion is good to add to his touchdown. Kickoff upcoming. Provost back to receive it for Hyannis. Robinson to kick it off. Maurice puts his foot into it. It's going to fall right into Provost's hands at about the 8-yard line. Provost shifts over and is wrapped up just across the 20. That is where Hyannis will take over. So we'll see what the Longhorns can dial up. 11:35 to go here, fourth quarter. 60 points is the lead for Sandhills Thedford, much of which was earned in the first half after they got off to a very quick start in the first quarter. One wide receiver in there for Hyannis. It's a handoff up the middle. Slipping and falling to his knee was Zeke Heaton. Gain of a few. It's going to be second down and 7 from the 25-yard line for Hyannis. We've got lots of area representation at state cross country tomorrow. I'm going to be headed to Kearney to bring you state cross country reports on KBBN 95.3 FM. Make sure to listen in for those throughout the day. Heaton has a good run here on the near side, stiff arming, staying in bounds, and he's inside the 15-yard line. An inspired run by Zeke Heaton gets Hyannis all the way inside their opponent's 15-yard line. Easily the biggest play for Hyannis here, and it comes at the beginning of the fourth quarter. Again, reports from cross country from all of our area runners coming to you on KBBN tomorrow. Also going to be having Broken Bow Volleyball. They're at the Southwest Conference Volleyball Tournament. Those will be on KCNI. And then Broken Bow Football, their final regular season game of the year on KBBN 95.3 to round out the day tomorrow. The handoff to Wyatt Phillips. He's tripped up just short of the 5-yard line. Good gain there on first down. Hyannis now knocking on the door. They need a couple yards for a first down. They need a few more for pay dirt. Again, two of our other area teams punching their ticket into the reseeding that goes into next round. Twin Loop getting the victory over Elgin Public Pope John. South Loop getting the victory earlier today as well. Rollout, Kosman wide open in the end zone. Oh, and dropping it. I thought he had it. Trevor Cole. Can't believe he couldn't reel that one in. It almost looked like he completed the pass, but when he brought his hands down to just tuck it into his body, the ball went down all the way through. That had 6 written all over it. Another attempt on third down. 3rd and 2. They can't earn a first down at the 4-yard line. Kosman fakes the handoff to Heaton. Phillips receives it this time from 6 yards out. It's a touchdown pass from Kosman to Phillips. To the line again comes Hyannis. Provost, the lone receiver, to the near side. Kosman under center. Everyone else in tight. Pitch play. Play off the near side to Heaton, and he dives and makes it into the end zone to complete the 2-point conversion. With 8:47 to go, fourth quarter, it's 80-28. Knights on top. Again, as we work our way further into the playoffs, they are going to go from 32 to 16 teams. They will reseed all of the teams. So while we would like to guess who Sandhills Thedford is going to play in the next round, we have literally no idea. It could be anybody that had advanced from across the state in D2. We're going to do as much as we can to cover as many teams as possible, just like we did here in the opening round, covering games of Twin Loop, Sandhills Thedford, and South Loop, with just 2 radio stations and a couple of video equipment pieces at our disposal. We'll be making that announcement next week. Good run back and taking a flight over here on the near side is Maurice Robinson, not afraid to jump up a little bit. Flies about 3 or 4 yards in the air, and it goes out of bounds at the 28.5-yard line. Timeout on the field. My Sandhills Thedford will come back with that final 8:25 here in the fourth.
Forward a timeout, 1st and 10, Sandhills Thedford at their own 28.5-yard line.
8:25 on the fourth quarter clock, 80-28 your score. Again, I know you can see it on the screen, but that's the radio man in me. Apologize for that. I'm sure it's been annoying at times. Out of the I formation, kind of a broken play here, and the ball's on the ground. No one knows it, and going down, the only man who knew it was Peyton Sainer, because he was in there at quarterback. I think Peyton Sainer and the running back Maurice Robinson were the only 2 that knew that ball was on the ground. Maurice couldn't get to it, and so Sainer just had to find it and jump on it. Everyone else on the field had no idea, and he went down and held it to just a 2-yard loss after all of that. Kyle Cox back in there, hands it off. Robinson gets the yardage lost on the fumble back, and then about 2 extra yards. Gain of 4. It's going to be 3rd down and 8.
Maurice Robinson with the carry for Sandhills Thedford. Pick up with 4 yards in the play. 3rd down for the Knights.
Few folks still sticking around here. We've seen a couple of cars take off here so far, but the blankets and maybe the hand heaters and gloves have started to come out. It's chilled off a little bit, but still a pretty comfortable night here in Thedford. Kyle Cox. Pitch. Robinson lost his footing. Credit that tackle to the 29-yard line. And unfortunately, Robinson appears to have gotten hurt on the play. So with 4th down upcoming at about 7 yards, looks like Robinson's going to be able to get to his feet under his own power before the coaches make it across the field to him. Good to see that. Clock is stopped with 6:59 to go in this contest. And we're going to see fourth down play here. Back of the football sits just short of the 30-yard line. Winklebauer will put his foot into it out of the punt formation. Snap back to Colin. Ball right at his face. Kicks it. It's a skying punt. It's only going to travel about 15 yards in the air and go out at about the 37-yard line. Knocks off some important equipment over here on the near side bench. And we'll start right there. Those are the kind of punts that the officials like because it fell right on a hash mark right on the near sideline. I think about anyone could have spotted that one. They're checking the equipment here on the near side, make sure everything's all right. And they slap it back in the box. Everything should be okay. First down from the 37-yard line for the Longhorns. Snap back. Handoff. Provost in there at running back. Going to angle forward. He's going to get a good 4-yard gain here before being shoved out of bounds. He's into night territory. Backup quarterback in there is Cade Olson, the 120-pound freshman. We go inside 6 minutes to go here in the fourth. Excuse me, he was in at the other running back position. The quarterback is Ben Connell. He's got the QB keeper. Has a gain up to the 35-yard line. They give him forward progress to there. He's about 3 yards short of the yard to gain. It's going to be third down and that far coming up for Hyannis. Five minutes to go here, fourth quarter. Hyannis looking for a first down on this 3rd and 3 attempt. One wide receiver out near side. Snap back, holding onto it, now throwing, way overthrowing his intended receiver, Dylan Fry, was the quarterback, Ben Connell. The play was there. Dylan Fry, the 140-pound freshman, was the one running out that way. Sails a little bit high over his head. But something to earmark if you're Hyannis going into this fourth down play. Maybe try something similar since that looked decently good offensively. Ball sits at the 35. Wide receiver out near side is Caden Warner. Snap back to Connell. It's going to be Provost looking for some room. And Robinson back in there after coming up gimpy on the offensive side of the ball. Comes up, makes the tackle, and holds Hyannis to no gain. So a turnover on downs. Gives the ball back to Sandhills Thedford with just over 4 to go. So we'll see a few more snaps here, and then this one will take us into the second round. Sandhills Thedford going to advance. We go from 32 to 16 teams statewide. Sandhills Thedford, of course, back-to-back years in the state championship game the last 2 years, coming up in the runner-up spot there. They've started off their playoffs this year the right way with a win here tonight, as the clock is the only thing that stands between them and the second round. We'll wait and look and see where they stand and who they take on and when and where. Let you know about our coverage opportunities. Robinson gets the handoff. Going to get a loss of about a half yard on the gain on the left side, or the loss, I should say. Again, other teams in our coverage area advancing today. South Loop getting the victory over defending D2 state champion Kennesaw. Twin Loop took care of business against Elgin Public Pope John in Taylor today. That game was on KCNI and then on both KCNI and KBBN. And then right here, you're watching Sandhills Thedford do what they wanted to do 80-28. Victory coming in about 2.5 minutes for the Knights. Snap back, Robinson on the pitch. Inside the sticks again, and he's going to fight for every yard they'll give him up to about the 49. That's where the next play will take place as we approach 2 to go. Again, folks, take a look at those sponsors scrolling at the top of your screen. They're the ones making this broadcast possible tonight. Thank you to Viera Wireless as well. We had some internet problems with the internet here in the press box to begin the game. We switched over midway through the first quarter, and we haven't had a problem since when we switched to Viera Wireless. Thank you to them for making our stream possible literally tonight. Robinson is the running back. Pitch to him. Follows his blocker. Trying to hold on to the ball. Ball comes out of there. They got a hold of it, did Hyannis. Provost picks it up. Breaks one tackle, but he'll be wrapped up there at about the 33-yard line. Well, Robinson had his hand on it. He had it tucked high, but one player swiped at it for Hyannis, and then 2 or 3 more came in there and hung on it. And it took all 3 of those players to rip it out of the arm of Robinson as he was fighting for extra yardage. Learning opportunity there for Maurice. Trying to fight for extra yardage, just tugging that ball with one arm rather than getting that offhand up as well. But Maurice has done some amazing things. He's got a touchdown reception that might have been the play of the game here tonight in this one. Inside a minute to go here, fourth quarter. Snap back to the quarterback for Hyannis. And sailing it over his receiver was Ben Connell. He was looking for Provost over on the far side. Second down coming up. We'll see 1, maybe 2 plays more in this one, depending on Hyannis' speed up to the line of scrimmage. Ben Connell in there, quarterback. Snap back to him. Ben looks over the middle, and it sails on him a little bit, trying to find Dylan Fry. Fry, the 140-pound freshman, ran an up route right in between the hash marks. Connell was looking for him. He was open, just couldn't quite find him. And now we'll see if we get one more snap here as we go inside 5 seconds. Connell hurrying up his offense. We will see a snap. It'll dribble back to him. He's going to try to make something of it. He puts his head down and gets about a gain of 6. And that is the end of the ball game. Sandhills Thedford with the victory, 80-28 here on the Sandhills Express YouTube and Facebook pages. They will move on to the second round and join a couple of area teams in going to the second round. 32 teams to 16 tonight is what we saw in D2 football. We'll let you know about our coverage going forward with those area teams. We look to utilize as many of the things made available to us between our 2 radio stations and our video streaming equipment. Keep an eye on sandhillsexpress.com and an ear on both of our radio stations so that you know where we are going to be and what coverage we're going to have coming your direction. So, for Jeff Bailey, our video engineer tonight, I'm Jeremy Shipe. Hope you have a great rest of your evening. Thank you to all of the sponsors that made our broadcast possible. We'll give them one more shout out. Bass Enterprises, Consolidated, BD of Broken Bow, Ewald's Grocery, Sandhills Corral, Midwest Partitions, Western Nebraska Bank, Custer Public Power District, Palmer Monument, Lions Appliance, Agribest Feeds, Insurance of the Heartland, Grocery Cart Broken Bow, Power Solutions, Agland ATV, BD Broken Bow, Colligan with Del Moniger and Tim Wright, Meade Lumber, Nebraska State Bank, Kristen Electric, and the Callaway District Hospital with the Arnold and Callaway Medical Clinics. Thank you very much for tuning in tonight, folks. Apologize for the internet problems for about the first half of the first quarter. Glad we got those worked out for you, and I hope you enjoyed the broadcast. For Jeff Bailey, I'm Jeremy Shipe. Have a great night.